everybody, welcome back to BareRose Garage here. What we got going on today? Well, I got a little ahead of myself in that last video. There's a lot I got to do before I put the intake manifold on. Number one is I got to button up the bottom end. Why? Because I like to leave the valley open until I'm totally done. And I put the oil pan on it and everything, you know, I button up the bottom, flip it over, and then I like to pour about a quart of oil right down over the camshaft and over the lifters. It's just what I do. And then I throw the intake on and slap it in the car. Anyway, so what I'm doing today, I'm checking the bearings in it. I got her flipped over. Got my clean room, my mobile clean room. And I'll turn the camera here so you can see what I've been doing. Okay, what I've done here is I pulled all of the main bearings, flipped them over and checked them for copper. They look beautiful. I pulled all of, well, I started here with, what is this, number 1 and number 5 rod bearings. I pulled those two, they look fine. Then I came back here and I pulled these two at the very end. They're my end ones. Generally, that's where your wear is going to be. So I pulled them and I checked them. They're fine. They look very good. So everything there looks beautiful. Now, on your mains, one of the ones you really want to pay attention to, and this doesn't matter what kind of mileage is on it, and you'll get kind of confused and you'll look at a motorhome that has really low mileage and you'll get excited. Okay, that thing's probably got perfect bearings in it. Well, in a motorhome, take it from me, I live right by Yellowstone National Park. We have motorhomes going and coming, and it's just non-stop all through the summer. I'm kind of in right on the gateway to Yellowstone National. Glacier National is on the same freeway as it goes right by me here. We see a lot of motorhomes. Our roads are just packed with them. And one of the things that you learn about a motorhome is people like to overload them. They are a motor home, but they have weight limits, and well, yeah, everybody wants to go camping with their cast iron pots and everything, but that stuff adds up in a hurry. And then you throw a tow vehicle or a big old boat on the back of it to go up to these vacation spots, and yeah, those motors work pretty hard for what they're, you know, what they're doing. One of the things that you really want to look is your thrust bearings, and that's because of that, because they're towing so much weight. Every time that motorhome takes off, that crankshaft is trying to come out of the front of the engine or out of the rear when you're using the engine to slow down. When you let off the gas, it's slamming and pushing that crank like that back and forth in there while your pistons are going up and down. So always check the thrust bearings. On a 460, they're pretty simple. They're right in the center, right here. Now it'll confuse you a little bit because they are copper. It shows copper on there. And yes, it has had a little wear on it, but it's not bad. What you look for is heavy scarring in it, bluing, stuff like that. These actually look really good, so I'm going to go ahead and stick her back in. On our monster truck, Thumper, the Thumper ride truck, monster ride truck, we spent, every time that truck went out, we were on and off and on and off the throttle, giving people rides, you know, doing donuts and stuff like that. You're on that throttle, off that, on, off, and getting that whoop, 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 you know, look and feel out of it. Same scenario as in a motorhome. What that is doing is that's driving that crank in and out and in and out, trying to force it in and out of that motor. So about every 3 years, we actually had 2 motors for that truck. About every 3-4 years or so, we'd take the old motor out, set it in the shop, and then pull the spare motor, stick it in it, and then run the season on it. And then when we come back, we'd pull the bearings out and we'd re-bearing it, the spare motor every year. Like I said, about every 2, 3, 4 years, depending on how hard we were hitting it in the season. Because of that, most of the bearings that would come out of them looked brand new. The rod bearings, the main bearings, you look at them, they look really good. But the thrust bearings, it would wipe them out. And then, of course, you know, that's kind of a, not really a racing application because we were a ride truck, but it was that was our job. You know, that's how we were making money all summer long, was on that truck. So dependability was huge on it. So we'd go through and re-bearing it. We'd pull new bearings out and stick new bearings in it and then send it. Just keep it, you know, dependable. Last thing you want to do in a ride truck is break down. Anyway, I checked her out. The bearings look superb on it. I'm just going to button it up. I do have to change the oil pump on it because it's different sump. Well, I don't have to change the pump, I have to change the pickup tube on it. And on these 460s, you have to pull the oil pump to get to the #1 main cap because it kind of wraps up and around here like this. You can't get to that bolt. And I'll need the pickup tube out of the mock-up motor and that oil pan because it's a front sump, and the timing cover because I need the, you know, so there's parts on the mock-up motor now. I got to tear it apart and swap them over and then swap these parts back onto the mock-up so I can keep using it for a mock-up. Anyway, that's where I'm at now, so I'm going to go ahead, re-torque this in. You've seen my torquing video. I don't think you need to want to see another one. But I'm going to torque this all back down, run my torques on it, put the oil pump back on it, swap the pickup tubes, swap the oil pan over, button it up, reseal it, flip it over, and you'll see me finish the torques on the rocker arms. Right now I just have them set in place enough to hold them. I'll show you how I go through and setting the valves on them. Like I said, on a Ford, they're super simple, but there is a little bit of a catch in them. I'll show you that once I get it flipped back over. Anyway, that's where the project is right now, and in the meantime, get out there and get some metal hot for these no-name 500s. All of us are we're etching in there. We're getting ready for those no-name nationals out there. All right, so we'll catch you on the next one, and we'll see you all in Sykeston.